And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, Ben.
How are you?
Are you really asking?
I'm always really asking.
That's not true.
I'm always really asking you.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
There's a lot of people I'm not actually asking.
No, I just had an emotional morning, that's all.
Oh. Do you care to elaborate? That seems like you want to get something off your chest.
No, other than it's just kind of funny. I mean, because little kids are funny, but my wife's out of town.
Yeah.
And you know this. I don't know how much I've talked about it, but people probably naturally assume she's more of the hardliner in the Scott family, and I'm the weak-willed one.
Yeah.
And it is a source of contention between my wife and I because she thinks like I'm creating bad habits by giving in, and being too soft. And she's 1,000% right. And whenever she goes out of town, all my kids do is push boundaries with me. Like, oh, I'm obviously going to be able to get away with anything. And my 4-year-old just absolutely put that to the test.
Took advantage of you?
Oh, well, she got mad at me for something dumb and then started flipping out and kicking the wall.
Oh, yeah.
She's horizontal on her bed and kicking the wall.
Oh, wow.
And I came in there and I said, kick that wall one more time. I'm taking something away. And I never take stuff away.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
I never do. And I'm like, I'm taking something away.
Uh-huh.
So she looks right at me, Ben, and she kicks that wall.
Oh, wow.
And she kicks that wall.
That's not a man I'm looking at. That's my peer at best.
And I was like, that is it?
Yeah.
I'm taking your Squishmallow.
Oh,
I grabbed that Squishmallow, and then for the next half hour, you can imagine what I dealt with.
Sure. Yeah.
Give me back my Squishmallow!
Yeah.
And just losing her mind.
Yeah.
And here's the part that she starts negotiating with me. Mm-hmm. I'll calm down if you give me back my Squishmallow.
I'll do whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah.
And I didn't handle it well. I really didn't. There was a lot of emotion, like a lot of regret, like a real quiet ride to the daycare. Uh-huh. You know what I mean?
I do. I had one of those Saturday morning camping, so.
Oh, did you?
And I hadn't had one in a while either, but same thing.
Yeah.
Just need you guys to buy in.
Just for a minute.
Yeah, right. Just play along for a little bit. We're in a weird spot. There's a lot of people around. I just need you guys to chill. And they wouldn't. So.
You know what is funny, though, is like she wasn't paying any attention to that Squishmallow. And she has at least a dozen other Squishmallows.
Yeah, of course.
But as soon as I took it away, that's the most important thing in the world right now.
Yep.
That Squishmallow.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant. But it just was an emotional morning. You know, it was one of those.
I do.
It was.
And you're never proud of how you responded, even if you had to do it. Even if you probably did the right thing, you don't feel good about it. So.
You mean yelling back, fix your attitude?
Well,
every time she yells, give me back my Squishmallow. You mean that's probably not it? My neighbor's probably hearing me. Get a better attitude.
I will say, you didn't have the worst parenting weekend of anybody. And we can open the week with a Bozo of the Week. Is that all right? Can we start with a Bozo of the Week candidate? And do Kansas State quarterback Avery Johnson's father, who fist fought his son in Ireland after the game? Not Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson's brother.
Older brother.
On the street outside of the game. So while you were parenting and trying to get something across, and probably did at least a little bit show that dad can be tough, and you can't kick the wall.
Yeah.
There are rules. You did not put yourself as the front runner of Bozo of the Week like Avery Johnson's father, who has very suddenly put all of Kansas State's college football season seriously in doubt for me. This is just one of those early red flags that it's like, oh, this is going to be a bad year. And we're going to be able to look at these little things like, remember his dad beat up his brother in Ireland of all places?
Yeah, I'm not going. Wait, well, okay, I knew we were going to talk about this, and that was before my emotional morning. And I think I might be changing my tune, honestly. I think I'm fine with the dad.
You get it.
Have you seen the explanation for the dad? It was
You
like
get it.
a little quarrel escalated too far. That was the explanation. And after this morning, you know what? I kind of get it.
Except for
I'm
you
sure
were
that-
not on top of your daughter punching her in a pond
Yeah, I know.
for whatever reason.
Yeah, in public.
Probably alcohol involved.
At your other son's biggest day. But I think I understand it a little bit more. I think I could, true bozo behavior, yeah, but I'm a little more sympathetic after this morning.
Okay. You get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
No, this is such a so funny time and place kind of thing with this. I don't know anything about this family dynamic. And yes, fist fighting your kids in public is probably a bad idea. But
Fist fighting your kids, period.
Yeah, but like with all the circumstances surrounding it that you just mentioned, there's like, let me give you an example. What's the head president of France? Macron. And his wife's name is Brigitte, if I'm not mistaken. Have you seen the video, like, came out a couple months ago where she just smacks him in the face on the airplane as the thing is coming down, like didn't intend to have everybody see her smack him in the face. And then have you seen them both after? Oh, everybody,
Yeah, we're in
hello,
love.
smiles.
Everything's fine.
Smiles.
By the time they land.
Smiles, everybody,
video's
like,
gone viral.
hold my hand, please. Because time and place.
Of course.
Wait till you get back to the hotel to fist fight your son. Because you're right, it really was a big day for Avery Johnson. You know, the spotlight,
Of course.
overseas game.
Only game on. Really the only meaningful game of the day.
Somehow they made it a conference. Like, they picked out a conference opponent on week one, which is already stupid and way too high pressure for week number one, let alone a rival. Yeah, you gotta keep it together. Got to keep it together for Avery's sake.
Correct. Your son had a terrible day. Didn't play particularly well. Had a much better second half than first half, but this is his year. Like, this is the chance for him to jump up to the top, potentially be a Heisman candidate, get that team to the playoff, and certainly that's not dashed because of one loss, but it's not improved. It's not helped, nor did he look like he's ready to make that jump, in my opinion. And then to have all the attention turn on your brother and your father very publicly, on video.
And can we both, I feel like I'm defending the dad too much, but also the brother not 12.
Correct.
The brother, like, mid to late 20s.
If I had to guess, I would bet, yes, the brother was in the wrong.
Well, in the wrong, like you say, beat up his son. I think everybody automatically goes to the worst case scenario, which is
Correct.
the son
Child
is like
abuse.
the son is like 12.
Yes.
No,
No.
the son is like 26.
And has the same DNA as Avery Johnson. Looks like a big person.
Again, still not okay.
Not appropriate.
To fist fight your son. Still
Right.
not appropriate.
But these were two men fighting each other.
These were two men fighting each other
Yes.
and not
Just happened to be related by blood.
right.
But not a man beating up a child.
Not a man beating up his son. It is a little bit different than that. Again, not okay.
Not condoning,
Not okay.
but a little bit
But
better.
not what you picture when you
Okay.
say
That's fair.
father attacked son.
That's fair. Senseless bickering escalated into an unnecessary fight. We have resolved our differences and take full responsibility for our actions. We have apologized to our immediate and extended family and now extend our apologies to Kansas State University, its alumni and fans.
Okay, so when I first saw the statement and saw how long it was, I was like, oh, there's a lot of BS coming here. And then I read it and I was like, no, I believe every sentence of that. I believe some ridiculous bickering escalated into something just horrible. And yeah, you're right. I mean, I bet a few warm beers were consumed
That's right there in Ireland.
that probably didn't help matters. But I believe all of that. That's yeah, we've embarrassed ourselves and everybody else. Again, getting back to our golf guy who our bozo of the week who got beat up on the golf course by the professional hockey player. Like
got it all on record.
This is all you're gonna
Come on, man.
This is all you're going to know about these two idiots for the rest of their lives. And in fact,
on, man.
Avery Johnson is going to be answering questions about these two idiots for the rest of his career.
Come on, man.
And there's radio bozos in Salt Lake named Ben Anderson, who's now going to blame the shortcomings of Kansas State's season on the Bozo father beating up the Bozo brother.
I said stop looking like an idiot.
Like already, we're blaming the future of the whole team on these two morons.
I got it all on record.
That's something that happened in this segment. These two guys will never get over that.
Correct.
They will be the two idiots that fought in Ireland while the brother was playing football for the rest of their lives.
And if Kansas State fails to reach the playoff or the conference championship game, we will go back to this as the moment we knew it was going to fall
If
apart.
the dad didn't beat up the kid, they'd be national champions by now.
You ever gotten in a fight on vacation? You ever had like the long flight home? Or the bad airport?
Well,
or the bad drive
airport?
home?
Yeah, I've had the bad airport.
Yeah. 15 hours back from Ireland to Kansas on that flight.
Do you think they moved seats? They didn't have to sit next to each other?
I'm not even that worried about the dad and the son. Obviously, that was a disaster. But Avery Johnson losing in Ireland, I'm sure did not hear about this right away. I'm sure mom was responsible and said, don't tell Avery. I'm going to get home and I'm going to deal with you two. Do not tell Avery that his dad has made a fool out of the family in a foreign country after the loss. I will deal with you two. And then somebody texted it to Avery right as he got on the plane.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, he knew before he got out of the locker room.
15 hours.
Yeah.
A 15-hour flight home thinking about the loss, his legacy, what Kansas State season's looking like, and also my dad beating up my brother in a foreign country. That's a very tough Saturday.
Post-loss behavior from fans. I'm just going to throw fans, not even like parents, athletes or whatever. There are so many notorious and hilarious in hindsight. And usually alcohol plays a prominent role. The Ute fan that broke into the building in the Capitol at like 5 a.m. Do you remember that one? It was post BYU Utah, and I don't even know. I can't remember which one. Utah might have even won. But a fan got arrested breaking into a building by the Utah Capitol, which is a long walk.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You should have sobered up by then.
And it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. Hilarious stuff. I watched, not to make these all about Ute fans, but I watched the Ute fan legit get beat up in Oregon.
Yeah.
I was walking from the press box down to the field, and this obviously overserved Ute fan was behaving inappropriately and then got beat up, which is never okay. Like, that whole scenario is not okay. You know what I mean? Not okay. Just handle the win or the loss better, I would say, to fans and family members and everyone.
And
let's handle those emotions a little bit better.
If you're in a foreign country, as we learned from LiAngelo Ball, be on your best behavior. Mind your P's and Q's, right? Don't create an international incident. And they're lucky they made it out of the country. In all honesty, you don't want to get arrested in a foreign country for fighting. Being the drunk American fighting, you don't want to do that. Also, a bad look for this game.
I had a roommate who went to a bowl game with buddies, and one of his buddies got arrested before the game. And
Nice.
So then my roommate missed the game because he was at the police station. So at least get arrested after the game, I guess. You know, for your poor behavior, at least make it through the game and then get arrested.
Rivalries are the best. This is Farmageddon, right? This is a pretty good rivalry in college football. It just brings out the absolute best stories, the worst in people, but the best stories.
Bananas stuff.
I was happy to be in Ireland. Now I'm not.
And now I am not. Oh, man, I can't remember exactly what it was, but a family member, I think it was Witt's mom, got like run over by some BYU fans when they charged the field after the Andrew George's still running thing I think there was some other stuff. I have never seen Coach Witt more angry than in that post. It's so angry. And with every right. It's once again why I'm against field storming. And did you see that another adult novelty item got thrown onto this time the golf course?
Oh, did it? Okay. Glad it's spreading.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You morons. Stop it. Let athletes have their space.
Correct.
For crying out loud. Anyway. Yeah, post big win or lost behavior, I think we could all do better.
Iowa State fans had to have a terrific Saturday. That's as good as it gets, right? You beat your rival or a rival in the big game of the season to kick off the year that looks like now you're on a great trajectory, and the parents of the star quarterback and the opposing team are fighting with their kids. That's as good a day as you can have if you're a petty person.
Hit the pub.
Yeah, right.
Hit the pub, make it happen.
15-hour flight home is going to be raucous. Just don't get arrested yourself.
Do your best.
Do your best.
Do your best. I think it was fairly predictable that Iowa State was going to win that game just because of the wacky nature of game number ones.
But Rocco Becht was terrible in the first half.
Yeah, but Iowa State's more that Rock Gibraltar type program.
They are. Matt Campbell's a really good coach.
Yeah, and he's been there forever, and his teams are really consistently good. Maybe not great, but consistently good. If you were to bet on a, not bet, I suppose, but if you were going to pick a program in a wacky game one scenario, it's not a surprise to me that the Cyclones won.
No, I agree with you. And it's just such a good reminder that you just kind of expect these guys to make huge leaps or make huge jumps, and just they're college kids. They're just flawed. The quarterbacks are flawed. The play is only so good.
That game was brutal.
It was not a great game. The fourth quarter was really fun. Everything else before that was pretty weird. And some of that's Ireland. Some of it's game one, like we've talked about. Some of it's there's so much on the line.
The rain.
The rain was obviously crazy. Not being able to see any of the hash marks was crazy.
Game one for all teams is going to be wacky. And we kind of all forget about that because we're stoked that college football is back, right? But, I mean, it's really a bad week of football. Nobody's team plays well.
Right.
Most of the games are entirely uninteresting, which I guess good for Kansas State and Iowa State. Yeah, it was an interesting matchup. Like, who did UNLV almost lost to Idaho State?
Uh-huh.
Didn't Portland State look remarkably bad in their opener as well? I'd have to go back and look at that.
Stanford looked awful. They lost to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's a rough loss.
It was like a close game, but you don't want to be in a close game with Hawaii.
No.
So
yeah. I mean, I guess interesting matchup for sure. Don't fist fight your children.
But the college football season is here.
Bad way to go. But yeah, college football season is here. That's nice.
Thursday, more games. Saturday, everyone locally is playing.
Have you cleared the deck on your calendar?
I'm going to be out of town, but I'm switching my HBO login over to ESPN, and I'm going to do the whole ESPN thing, I guess,
their
now.
new stupid package?
I have to get their new package. So
with FS1?
More money. No, I'm not doing that one yet. That one's not out yet, right? Or is that one available?
It's available.
I'm getting the new whatever stupid ESPN app that has Disney, and so my kids can watch Gravity Falls or whatever. And
Boy.
I'll lose HBO, but I'll spend more money, which is good. But then the Utah game's on Fox at 9 p.m. or whatever it is, so I can just tune into that.
Well, if you need your HBO fix, pal, come on over.
I come watch HBO.
Ben posts up on my couch. Bring Max up. I got a show. I can't,
I'm halfway through my Sopranos rewatch. I just didn't finish it.
How's your guys' snack situation? Is it good? Want me to bring something?
I'd like to burn down 3 or 4 episodes.
Bring over some Gardettos?
Do not touch the Squishmallows.
Yeah, correct. That's what I've heard. Ben's kicking the walls.
Kicking the wall. She looked right at me, too. I said, don't you do it, or I'm taking something. And she just, bam, kicks the wall. I was like, okay, that's it. That's it. Any semblance of expectation for a good morning has just gone out the window.
And on a Monday.
And
with your wife out of town.
Mom's out of town.
Bad start. Really bad start.
Now, not bad like Avery Johnson's dad bad, which you bring up a good point.
It would have been funny if that happened before the game. That would have made it even harder.
Ugh. Imagine players getting distracted by family members happens all the time. And I do feel for some.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, Avery Johnson is Stan Marsh with his finger and thumb over the bridge of his nose, shaking his head.
Early Bozo of the Week candidate.
Stay tuned. More next. Top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is very appropriate for college football and my Hokies, Ben.
They do this at the third quarter?
No, it's
Between
the
third and fourth?
beginning of the game.
That's how they open the game.
This is the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Because Hokie fans are in the seats, Ben.
There's going to be a lot of people listening and say, how do you not know that? It's because Virginia Tech hasn't played a meaningful football game in 22
Quite some time.
years. Yeah.
No, 22 is a little
little bit of a stretch.
a little bit of a stretch, but quite some time yet.
Been a while.
It's been a minute. Yeah. All right, time for the top 3 stories of the
How
day.
did they get that? How did they get to start with that song?
They just did it. It started as, I believe, as just a bit to get people in their seats before kickoff. They're like, we're going to have this, and they played it, and then the students got on board and did the jumping and all that sort of thing, and then it just took off.
It's like one of the great rock anthems of the last 40 years. So for Virginia Tech to get it, of all, it's like a bad closing pitcher having a great song to walk onto the field.
And Metallica has gone and played Blacksburg.
Oh, really?
And they let them use it for free.
Oh, wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
great.
kind of well, I'm sure it's gotten them a ton of attention. I mean, all the videos
good
out there,
advertising.
and before every single Virginia Tech game, they're not nationally broadcast every game. Well, they're on cable probably pretty much every game. So, anyway, J. Brooks Jewelers, cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, it's game week, fellas. How you feeling about the slate we got this weekend?
Well, I have no idea what to make of UCLA. It'll be an interesting test for Utah, in which it's a battle of 2 teams that were 5-7 last year. Both radically overhauled their offense. Utah entirely new offensively. UCLA went out and got Iamaleava, who was the top quarterback transfer in the country. I don't. How much does that change what Deshaun Foster does and what UCLA actually looks like? Because you go back and you look at their schedule, they scored between 13 and 19 points basically every game. They could not score at all last year. Neither could Utah. So in that sense, they're similar. The difference is UCLA was losing every game 13-35, and Utah was losing every game 15-18. Or Utah could at least slow you down using their great defense, but couldn't score at all. UCLA really wasn't good anywhere. So I'm curious to see what UCLA's offense looks like, and then if their defense can stop anybody.
I'm guessing the Bruins are going to stink.
Probably.
Because I think the bozo factor of their head coach is quite high. I mean, they were not good last year.
Yeah.
I think his act during camp is kind of bizarre, but when were the Bruins, when were they formidable?
Man, it's been a while. I mean, since Jim Mora was there. Honestly.
And they were okay. It's not like they were
Yeah.
dominating the conference.
Yeah, they had some top 10 rankings, but that was early in the season, never at the end of the season.
I mean, maybe this is crazy, but I expect Utah to win fairly comfortably.
It's week 1. It's what's so
Yeah,
weird
you don't know.
about it. You just
Yeah,
don't know,
it's
and you're
wacky.
going on the road. And like you're saying, and I've seen some of the things online about the tickets that are still available at the Rose Bowl. Now, it's enormous, so there's always tickets available. But it's like every ticket's available. So there might be more red there than blue and gold or whatever they call the colors.
Because, and this just gets back to our criticism of Deshaun Foster. Nobody cares about UCLA football.
Right.
You need all the buzz you can get. Crapping on the 5 reporters that actually cover your team is getting you nothing. In fact, it does you a disservice.
Yeah.
The attendance at UCLA games is embarrassing from a visual standpoint, not just from a financial standpoint. But do you remember, Ben? Of course you did. I mean, you covered the Mountain West at least for a couple of years, or maybe you didn't. But you remember how San Diego State, though, all those games in that giant stadium when nobody cared about San Diego State, and it's like, this is embarrassing, like visually, because there's this giant stadium that nobody goes to, and that's very much UCLA. They need all they can get, but nobody expects them to be good. Even their own fan base doesn't think they're going to be good. I don't think they're going to be good. And Utah is one of those teams like Iowa State that's really good in week number 1 because they're kind of the model of stability for the most part. Now, this year they're installing a new offense, which makes it a little more up in the air. But the type of offense that they're installing is pretty, should be pretty good to go right away. It's not a
complex. As stupid as Troy Taylor's iPhone offense, which was so, he said, really hard to learn, but once you learned it, it was easy, like an iPhone, and nobody seemed to ever really get a grasp of it.
Right. He's not putting in the West Coast,
Right.
Bill Walsh isn't coming in.
Right.
So I think Utah should be pretty good out of the gate. I mean, I don't know. I expect Utah to be better than UCLA. I don't think that's that even much of a hot take.
UCLA's brought in a ton of transfers on the offensive line, a lot on the defensive side. They lost a lot of guys, weirdly, to the NFL last year on defense, despite the fact that they were not a good defense. So even their good players are gone. So they're going to put a lot on Iamaleava to step in and be really good. And we'll see. I mean, he's a great player. He was really good at Tennessee. Tennessee didn't seem totally heartbroken about him leaving, but that might be sour grapes. So I'm fascinated about that.
I'm going to reverse a hot take I had, I think it was last week, in regards to BYU Portland State. I told you I didn't think BYU would blow out Portland State because week 1s are so wacky, let alone with a new quarterback, all that stuff. They're going to struggle. Portland State couldn't score against Tarleton State. They got blanked 42-0. I mean, BYU may blow out Portland State.
Oh, they should. Right?
It might look kind of clunky, but the end of the score, the final score.
I don't know. Do we think
might be 50-0?
Tarleton was good?
I have no idea. It doesn't matter. You got blanked.
Their running back, Trey Page, Tarleton, had 15 carries for 170 yards. So what is that, 13-yard average, 12-yard average per carry? So I think BYU is going to be fine.
The old Vikings of Portland State are not bringing a ton to the table. And you know what? That week 2 against Stanford, right? That's looking like
pretty good,
easier money than maybe we thought.
And Utah's never really struggled playing at the Rose Bowl. Never really struggled against UCLA on the road. Top 5 teams. Joe Williams ran for 1,000 yards one night. So it's never been a place that Utah seemed to really struggle.
It was, what was it? It was like 330 yards, something like that, 350 yards?
332.
That was kind of, honestly, a sad moment in a way, because they had already thrown Joe Williams off of the team, and then they begged him to come back, and their defense was so bad that night against UCLA. You forget about it because Joe Williams won them the game.
Yeah.
But the defense was so bad that night that they had to have the historic performance from a running back to win.
That might be Utah's highest scoring game ever in the Pac-12.
We'd have to go look at it.
They scored 50, UCLA scored over 40. Yeah, that game was crazy.
Who was UCLA's quarterback at the time?
I don't think it was Brett Hundley, was it?
I don't think so. We'd have to go back and look, but that was a wild game for a lot of reasons. You don't see Utah's defense give up yardage like that. Every time UCLA touched the ball, they scored, and it was like watching an AFL game.
Mike Fafawi was UCLA's quarterback. I don't even remember that name at all. Fafawel. I don't remember him at all.
I don't either. There's no way you're pronouncing that right, though.
Fafaul. Fafawel. Or Foffle.
And then Foffle.
From Cockeysville, Maryland. Right. Never even heard of that spot either.
And then Utah State plays the Mighty Miners of UTEP coming up this week. And I'm really curious to see what that team looks like under Bronco Mendenhall right out of the gate.
Can't wait. I like Bronco teams.
Well, and speaking of, not letting anybody know anything, Broncos doing that at Utah State too. All right, what's next?
Number 2, you guys already hit on Iowa State, Kansas State. Any other takeaways from week 0?
Yeah, certainly not super impressed with what Stanford was able to show, and that's a good sign for BYU. Not that you don't want to be untested going into the Big 12 season, but you also don't want to have a weird loss early in the year if you're going to be only so-so that could cost you when it comes to a bowl game.
Your Jayhawks managed a victory over the mighty Bulldogs of Fresno State.
Fresno State looked terrible.
Yeah, well, they're probably not good,
yeah.
I would guess. But Kansas, we kind of wonder. And then I couldn't believe that Idaho State gave UNLV a game. And UNLV was pretty good last year. Their whole coaching staff is gone, right?
It is, yeah.
And it looks like it's probably back to business as usual for UNLV.
But Dan Mullen there, we'll see. You never know. Slow game one. Sometimes teams turn it around. But Kansas, not to brush over them too quickly. Jalen Daniels out looking healthy is a great sign for them. When he's healthy, Kansas is dangerous. And he showed it, 18 of 20 passing, 176 yards. Very kind of a casual outing. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he looked good.
What exactly is Andrew Luck's role with the Cardinal?
He just kind of oversees, right?
The only good thing about that is we now have the Captain Andrew Luck Twitter guy back, which is funny.
Yeah.
And was always funny.
Is Ron Rivera doing something with them as well? And
Riverboat
Frank Reich
Ron?
is there. Am I right on that? They have a bunch of weird former NFL
But
coaches.
it's all temporary, right?
Yeah, everyone's kind of just stepping up. Yes, Ron Rivera is like working with Andrew Luck, I think, to run Stanford, and Frank Reich is there as the interim coach entering the season. Week 1 as the interim is very strange.
Well, they're doing a bad job.
Yeah.
I think he's there the whole year, but
He is.
It's just temporary.
I think Ron Rivera's at Cal, so he's a rival. So excuse me.
All right.
Anyways. Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Losing in Honolulu is rough.
Yeah, it's really bad. And they looked bad, and they couldn't stop anyone late in the game.
All right, what's next?
Number 3, the NFL wrapped their preseason. Cut day is tomorrow, and breaking news before the show, Terry McLaurin signed a big extension with the Washington Commanders.
The commies, McLaurin was holding out, demanding a trade, yada, yada, yada. We all knew this was going to happen. A 3-year contract extension worth up to $96 million.
He wanted to be a top 10. He wanted to be paid like a top 10 receiver in the NFL, and he certainly is.
$30 million signing bonus in the deal as well. So he's going to be catching passes for the commies this season, which, yeah, like we said, was predictable.
But I think everyone's eyes have turned now. The biggest holdout still is Micah Parsons, who was napping during the preseason game. Clearly a sign that he's trying to show up the Cowboys, right? You don't accidentally do that.
Well, no, unless you're Ron Artest.
Laying down on the table,
Yeah. Well, like on the scores table.
and then they threw a drink at his face.
I watched the stupid Netflix documentary about that the other day. I have thoughts if you'd ever want to hear, but
On the Malice in the Palace?
well, on that documentary.
Okay. Oh, on the documentary.
On that documentary.
So we'll see. But the NFL season wraps, or the NFL preseason wraps, now they have this awkward week off before kicking off. They do Thursday night to kick off, right?
Yeah.
We're not that far
On
away.
Amazon.
Week and a half away. I do like the college football official week 1 kind of gets its own weekend. And they play on Sunday, too, to fill that gap.
The Browns are keeping 4 quarterbacks. 4.
They didn't even pick their best 4 because they waived Tyler Huntley, who is certainly better than at least one of Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel.
Kenny Pickett, too.
The Browns are going to Browns. What are you doing? Most NFL teams don't keep 3 quarterbacks, let alone 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So why did you draft Shedeur in the first place?
Right. After you got Dylan Gabriel, all the pressure was off. We got our guy. We got a young guy.
They created this problem
They
for
did.
themselves.
They did.
Old Stefanski taking heat for not playing Shedeur in a 2-minute drill in a preseason game. Like, that's all self-created.
And, I mean, what is the status of Deshaun Watson?
Injured.
He is
He's
it's a list that they call it.
Yeah.
So he's not technically on the roster. He's like on an injured
Right.
list. So he doesn't
Physically,
count towards the 50.
He's on the
Yeah.
pup list?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's never going to play for them again, right? At least that's the expectation.
The owner
So
loves him.
They're paying 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So yes, they have 4 active quarterbacks. They're paying 5, including one of them's the highest paid in the NFL, and he's not playing. And Joe Flacco's your starter.
And one of them in Shedeur, good or bad, is just a lightning rod who has a speeding problem.
Yeah.
Totally self-created. That could have been somebody else's thing.
The other
They're
one
keeping
can't grip a
4
football.
quarterbacks.
Hands are so little.
What is it, a 53-man
53.
active roster?
Yeah. Almost 10% of your
To
roster is
keep
quarterbacks.
3 players that are likely not going to play in a particular game, or you're not planning on playing. That's crazy. There's some backup guard that has to learn how to play tight end that's like, wait, hey, Kyle, Shedeur's doing nothing. Standing there picking his nose.
It's a mess.
I got to play offensive and defensive tackle.
You're right. It's a joke. but it's the Browns. They've always been that way. It's been that way my whole life. So,
And then the other Sanders son got cut.
Shiloh out.
Punched another player, got
into a
dismissed from the
fist
game,
fight, got tossed from the game.
and then cut.
Might be the last time we see him.
Stay tuned. More Jake and Ben coming up next. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's a trip to the Rose Bowl for the Utes as they open the season this Saturday at UCLA. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Stay tuned. Big college football preview show coming up on Wednesday. We're excited about it. Ben and I will be there.
Kenny J is at the district.
Be out at Kenny J's, wolfing down some good barbecue.
I hope so.
Excited about that. Ben, I'm sure you were glued to California high school football over the weekend.
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Ryder Lyons was, what do you think? 31 of 37, Ben, 408 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and even ran one in.
He's got all the makings of a great high school quarterback.
I do like high school sports, but I also don't.
That makes one of us.
I don't like this aspect of high school sports that you have no idea. You know what I mean? Like these quarterbacks that put up huge numbers. I always throw to the Alex Smith example. I mean, he played with Reggie Bush and Todd Watkins, and nobody really saw him do anything because his job was to hand it off to Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
You know, and he never really got.
Yeah, I don't know who Derrick Henry's quarterback was. It might have been
attention,
great.
you know. Brandon Doman ran the option at Skyline. Yeah, he won the state title, but everybody at Lavelle Edwards thought he was a safety until the day he was forced to start him.
Chase Hansen, great high school quarterback.
And
Britton Covey, awesome high school quarterback.
And you just don't know.
And that's
you know
not
what
to
I mean?
that's not to demean Ryder Lyons at all. He's got the right size. He's clearly got the tools. That's awesome. You know, the hard part for me, again, is where we have really ruined college football. And look, I expect him to end up at BYU, but that is 2 years from now. He'll be getting on campus, ideally starting 2 years from now. We'll have no idea what the quarterback situation looks like before that. We don't know who the coaches are going to be. You know, we don't know what BYU will have brought in before that or not been able to do since.
So his plan is to take a 1-year mission. Is that? I don't understand this. If somebody wants to do a call in or hit us on the Snap Talk, I honestly, I've known a lot of missionaries in my life and obviously covered a lot of BYU football. And I do not know this 1-year mission thing. I've never heard
I'm
of
with
it.
you because the expectation is he will be on campus in 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging. I mean,
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah, of course.
I have no idea. I've just never heard of it before.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was 18 months.
Is that what it
An
is?
18-month mission as opposed to 2 years.
Okay, is that what I have heard of the 18-month mission? I have heard of that before, and that's like a calendar thing, right? Where you're kind of eligible to go home at 18 months, and then it's just what works with the mission or something like that. Again, somebody explained. I apologize for my my negligence, but I have heard of that one.
I can't tell if it's even 18 months. I'm not sure that would match up, so it might be shorter. I've seen 18. I see 12. I see them all over the internet.
Yeah,
So
I've
we'll see.
seen the 1-year mission thing, and I've just never heard of that before.
Regardless, again, it's just month to month in college football is just so hard to know what to expect. Again, I mean, look at these two teams we're talking about. Right? I mean, look at what we were expecting at BYU 3 months ago versus what's happening today. And that's not to say that's what's going to happen to Ryder Lyons. It's just things change so quickly in college football anymore. I would think these schools will be in the Big 12. I don't know. We don't really have an ability. You would be silly to think you know anything about what the future is going to look like in college football for teams, for coaches, for players. So,
Man, the recipe for success at BYU is just still the same. You get a top-notch quarterback, and if they play as upperclassmen, then BYU is going to be really good.
Yeah.
And they can get a top-notch quarterback.
They can.
Not all places can recruit players with such high ceilings. But with that said, one game in California high school is, I just kind of laughed that was a thing this weekend because, like, you have any idea who they're playing? Are they on a super team?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, is he the quarterback of a team that's obviously way better than their competition?
I personally would not care if he was. How many Elite 11 guys have we seen come and be superstars or be talked about as superstars, and they went to the Elite 11 and they were going to be the MVP, and just a different animal. Get on that's why I can't wait to watch Bear Bachmeier. Some guys get on and they just ball out. Some guys get on the field and they can't play. You got to see it.
Well, Ride or Die Lions. Do you like that, by the way?
I love that.
He had a big game over the weekend.
Yeah. Lions, not sheep. That's what I say.
Want to remind you that you can win big every Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone with Win Ticket Wednesday. This Wednesday, get tickets to The Offspring in the Supercharged Worldwide and 25 Tour September 6th at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Don't miss The Offspring with special guest Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory. Get your tickets at livenation.com or listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day on Wednesday for your chance to win. We'll have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And the KSL Sports Zone has it covered. It's a season opening home game for the Aggies as they welcome UTEP to Maverick Stadium. Your home for all the play-by-play coverage of Aggie football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Let's lock in.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, join Hans and Scotty coming up tomorrow from noon to 3 at My Hearing Centers, 8941 South, 700 East. Let's see. Guy on a Buffalo Snap Talks in, Ben. Said, spoke to someone this weekend that just got home from being a mission president. Said he had never heard of the 1-year mission. Said it is likely either special permission or he's just saying I'm coming home in a year. Deal with it? Okay. All right. Well, good times.
Whatever floats your boat. Yeah, it's not up to me. It seems like a very personal decision.
Now, do you think that would be like intentionally get sent home?
Sure. Just fake an injury.
Or like have really bad behavior? Isn't that why they send you home from a mission in theory?
I may know some people.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Just keep telling your mission president about your girlfriend that you have on your mission. That'll get you sent home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you intentionally submarine the thing or can you just bounce? How does that work? I honestly don't know.
I mean, they can't pull your passport, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's nobody physically keeping somebody
so
there.
just
Yeah,
go
that's what I'm saying.
Buy a plane ticket. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a free man. You're 18 years old.
But it'd
might not be 18
kind
yet.
of weird to be going into it with that mentality, no?
You didn't bring enough suits? Why do you have
You're not
half
gonna
as
be here
much
for like
stuff
12
as
months?
I do.
I'm going to be QB1 at BYU, man. You kidding?
I'll be curious. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know how that works either.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like I said, all the missionaries in my life have all been 2-year excursions. Then they come back with a Spanish accent.
Usually put on some weight or lost a lot.
It depends on where you go. I
go.
did have that observation with my friends that the stateside missionaries were coming back heavy,
yeah.
and most of the time balding.
Oh, you went to Wisconsin. Interesting.
Yeah, right. And then if my friends that got sent to Brazil or Argentina or something where and especially if they got posted remote areas, it's like came back thin.
Yeah.
And a Spanish accent.
But admirable regardless.
I had a buddy that went to Europe, went to like Italy. Mm-hmm. He came back very defeated.
Why?
No, it's just you don't have a lot of success, you know?
Sure, it's a stronghold.
Yeah.
Notorious stronghold.
I don't know how many
the Catholics.
baptisms or whatever he had, but he came back and he's like, man, I got the door slammed in my face a lot. Not a whole lot of success.
Sure.
Whereas in other parts of the world, I think missionaries are a little more, the numbers come up a little bit.
Okay. That makes sense.
I had a buddy who went to the Philippines and ate monkey brains. That's pretty crazy. If you were on a mission, Ben, and monkey brains were slid in front of you, you would?
Do you know it's monkey brains beforehand?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm a polite man. I'm adventurous.
See, I am too, but I don't know. Monkey brains might be a bridge too far.
Where is the bridge? Is that where you cut it off?
Yeah. How far up the body are you willing to go?
Well, I
How
told
low
you-
are you willing to go? You eating chicken feet?
I told you I went to an like a traditional Chinese wedding that had like a 21-course meal, and I had to tell him like, hey, you got to stop telling me
I'll
what
eat
this
it.
stuff is. I'm
Just
gonna
don't tell
eat
me.
it. I'm here for the experience. It's
Yeah.
delicious, but you got to stop telling me what this stuff is because I do have a line. As much as I would like to pretend that I don't.
Christian, you have a line? You eating tongue?
I've had tongue.
Yeah. Lengua. It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Lengua tacos are A+.
I'm sure that maybe in the moment I'd maybe be like, oh, I don't know if I'm feeling it today.
I don't know if
but-
I'd eat an eyeball. I
Yeah,
don't know if
that's a good.
It seems textury. It seems the potential to pop is not something I'm all that interested in. I would rather eat a brain than an eyeball.
Yeah, I've had. I guess it's not super weird, but like cheek.
Yeah,
they call
yeah,
it
of course.
cabeza.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I knowingly ate a cow testicle.
You told that story.
I have. That was.
I've
thanks
not
to-
done that.
That was thanks to Craig Bullerjack
You've not
and
done the
Gordon
Rocky
Monson.
Mountain oyster.
But yeah, brain.
You gotta survive, man.
Oh well, we're not talking survival here.
Well, at
We're
some
talking
point,
about-
somebody ate a brain to survive, and then they were, I guess, pretty
well,
good.
we're talking about etiquette, though. We're talking about how polite are you?
Yeah.
Because there's no way you're excited about eating the monkey brain.
Probably not.
So how polite are you?
Yeah. Sure. I don't know what's in a hot dog.
My father,
I've eaten some brains in a hot dog. I'm sure of it. Yeah, I've had brain.
my father-in-law's into like juicing things and that sort of stuff. He's kind of a naturalist that way. He makes cantaloupe juice, but he includes the rind, which I thought
That's interesting.
was pretty interesting. Making it like a green color, but it still tasted like a cantaloupe.
Yeah.
A lot of fiber in the rind.
Sure, I believe it.
Yeah, a lot of fiber in the
Thick.
rind. Oh man, that's funny. All right, Ben. College football week is upon us, which is fantastic. Is super excited about our coverage here on the station. Christian, how did the first week of the football coverage go?
It was cool. Yeah, Saturday show is now replaced by College Football Saturday. Alex Curie is joining Alex Napolis and I every Saturday morning from 10 to noon. That's going to act as kind of the pregame shows this year for BYU and Utah instead of doing a pregame right beforehand. And then starting this week, we are going to be going live with true postgame shows immediately following the game. Most of those will be over air when we have space on the signals, but they're all going to be live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, X, and all that stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That really sucks for you this upcoming week, though.
Yes, 9 p.m. kickoff for Utah, so that means post-game is going to be around probably 1-ish. And I was telling you guys my mother-in-law is coming to visit. She's staying in our extra
Yeah.
bedroom, so I was like, hey, I got work, guys.
It's also my broadcast studio, so
Yeah.
hope you have some thoughts.
No, you should do it outside for the whole neighborhood.
That's great. It's a good idea.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I do feel for you there, but I also feel for you that how do you do a Utah pregame show where you know nothing about either team?
We've been doing it for the last 6 months. I don't know. What are you talking about?
You haven't. Nobody knows what to expect from UCLA, and I'm half joking about this, but
Yeah.
it is obnoxious that we do not have more information because people want to know. People want to preview their games. They want to get stoked about their games, and what do we really know about? We know some stuff about Utah because we are closer to the program and have watched at least last year. We know what to expect from somebody like Smith Snowden and Lander Barton, and there are probably a couple examples of that with the Bruins, but like they're turning over their whole team, and we haven't seen anything.
Do you think we know more about Utah or BYU?
BYU.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because they're bringing back their coaching staff.
Okay.
You don't know what Jason Beck's offense is going to look like at Utah.
I bet
You
it's
have
going to
no
look
idea.
a lot like what we saw last year at New Mexico.
And how's that going to meld with the rest of the team and the rest of the personnel? I mean, the offensive line is the strength of the team. You're asking them to play a totally different way.
Sure.
So
BYU's got an almost entirely new offensive line. Not entirely new, but
but we know what the scheme
brand
looks
new
like.
tackles and a new quarterback who does things differently. And
We know what A-Rod
Conceptually.
wants. We know what A-Rod wants to do.
Yeah.
We know what BYU wants to do defensively. This is Jay Hill's third season with the Cougs. Third. We know what he wants to accomplish. I absolutely think we know more about BYU.
Okay.
I mean,
here's the thing. You can change the offensive coordinator at Utah all you want, and Witt teams look like Witt teams for the most part.
I don't think so, because they did change offensive coordinators every year, and it was always a crapshoot what you were going to get and whether or not it was going to work. Again, the last time they did a spread option, go fast, go hard offense was Dave Christensen, and it was a disaster.
It has worked rarely at Utah, and I mean like a good offense. Rarely have they had a good offense, and it was once Cam Rising stepped on the field that Utah had a good offense. That's really the difference, and that's why I am curious about BYU, because you have a new quarterback stepping on the field that hasn't ever shown anything. At the very least, Devin Dampier has showed that he can do what Devin Dampier does. At the very least, his strengths should translate, and I think we should know what that's going to look like. Now,
in the Big 12?
No, of course, it's different than the Mountain West, but he's going to be Devin Dampier. Like, this is not a guy. Witt right now, what I'm really curious is the balance of the offense, right? How much pass, how much throw, what do the percentages look like? Witt's going to tell you it needs to be 50-50. No one actually thinks that's what's going to look like. At least that's not what I think it's going to look like. And I think Devin Dampier's strength is going to be his ability to run the ball. And we have seen quarterbacks who run the ball and generally what that looks like. It's going to be similar over and over and over. But I don't expect an Andy Ludwig type offense. That's fine. I don't know if Andy Ludwig's offense was much to write home about until Cam Rising stepped on the field. And that, I think, can apply to A-Rod, which is, A-Rod wants to have a system and wants to run certain things, but if you don't have a quarterback who can do anything, it doesn't matter what A-Rod wants to do. So that's where I would say, maybe I know who the coaches are, but it may not mean anything to me.
Well, 12 touchdowns and 12 interceptions is not going to inspire confidence. If you're going to say you know what to expect from Dampier, because we saw it in New Mexico, 12 touchdowns and 12 interceptions is going to be rough for Ute fans. And I don't know, would Witt even let him get to 12 interceptions?
No. Well, 12 is not a crazy number by itself. Isn't that what Jake Retzlaff had last year? You have something like 20 and 12. But yeah, if you're as dangerous as you are on the ground, and how many rushing touchdowns did Devin Dampier have last year? 19. I mean, almost twice as many as he had throwing touchdowns. Not almost twice, but quite a few, 7 more. I just don't think Utah's going to be calling a lot of passing plays in the red zone.
Let's see. In 2022, let's call it that, Cam Rising played in 13 games, and this was his career high, by the way. 8 interceptions.
Okay.
The year before, in 13 games, he had 5 total interceptions. Let's see. He had 20 touchdowns in 2021. He had 26 touchdowns to go along with those 8 interceptions in 2022. So, did not turn the ball over, which might have been his superpower.
Tyler Huntley, 10 his first year as a starter, his sophomore season, in 10 games. Then it dropped to 6, then it dropped to 4.
Yeah,
Tyler really got, he's turned into a very good player.
12's a lot.
12 is a lot, yeah. I think Jake Retzlaff led the conference last year, right?
12's a lot. And a lot for a Utah team.
It is.
Now, Ty Detmer would tell you he doesn't give 2 rips about interceptions.
Yeah, Jake had 12 last year. Well, Ty had 6 in a game, right? How many was it in the NFL? He set the record?
He did. Do you know his Heisman campaign?
7 interceptions in a game. It's a lot.
Do you know how many interceptions Ty Detmer had in his Heisman campaign? The year he threw for 5,188 yards.
18. 22. 25. 28.
28.
28 interceptions is crazy.
41 touchdowns, though.
Yeah, well, it's
41 touchdowns, 5,188 yards. That's wild.
Matt Ryan, his final season at Boston College, he had 19 interceptions. So if it's worth it, it's worth it. If you're throwing for 5,000 yards, like Ty Detmer, Matty Ice threw for 4,500 yards. Devin Dampier's throwing for, 2,400 yards, I think, generously.
The hard part about it is, though, and think about this for a second, because this is why the offense-defense meld with Utah is so critical. Kyle Whittingham would have benched Ty Detmer. He would have. Witt would have benched Ty Detmer at interception like 15. Ty Detmer would never have gotten to 5,000 yards. He never would have sniffed it because he would have been not playing.
Well,
Lavelle Edwards famously was very patient with his quarterbacks making mistakes and turning it over. Kyle Whittingham is not.
I am with you then that it's going to be fascinating to watch what Utah does with Devin Dampier, because I think if you let him throw the ball, I think he's going to have turnovers. And you don't have another option.
So now he's playing fast, which does not complement the defense. And he's turning it over, which really does not complement the defense. How patient is the head coach with the offense? And at what point do we see Jason Beck do a protest game like Dave Christensen did against Arizona State, where he refused to pass the ball in the second half? Refused.
But I think this goes back to my point of who do we know more about? Are we sure we know more about BYU or Utah? We know Witt's not going to let that happen. You know that.
Not going to let what happen?
Let Devin Dampier throw for double-digit interceptions, certainly not 15. 12 is only if he's also throwing 20 or if he's rushing for 2 a game. You know, if he has 20 on the ground, that's one thing, and 12 through the air, and he ends up with 32 and 12, that's one thing. And that's basically what he did last year at New Mexico, 31 and 12.
So if he does throw interceptions, you're telling me they're going to turn then to Isaac Wilson, and we're going to see exactly the same thing that happened last year happen
I don't
again?
think so. But I just think
then they go to the true freshman?
No, they're not going to. They won't switch off of Devin Dampier. I don't think they have an option.
You just told me that we know Witt's going to do that.
No, I didn't say that. I said they will neuter. I didn't say this either. They will neuter Devin Dampier. They will neuter the offense, but they're not going to go away from him. But they will just go to what they did after Cam Rising got hurt when they had Nate Johnson, right? Just hand the ball off. Or a real simple timing route. Quick. But I don't think you're letting him sit back there. If he's throwing the ball away, the weird thing is he should have a lot of time. That offensive line should dominate. He should have time when he's sitting back there for 4 and 5 seconds.
But he wasn't playing the run and shoot at New Mexico last year. It's not like he was throwing the ball 40 times.
No, he wasn't.
So, I mean, it's pretty neutered already, if that's the term you want to use. It's already down to that. So I don't know. I think there's way more question with how that works necessarily than, I mean, we know like this isn't a positive thing that we know about BYU, but
32 passing attempts a game last year.
We know that BYU is starting a freshman, and we know that that's not going to go well because it never goes well. And I'm not saying go well like he's the worst quarterback we've ever seen. I'm saying not goes well like they don't win 10 games. Freshmen don't win 10 games.
Sure.
We know that about BYU. Anybody who's expecting BYU to win 10 games should not be. We know that freshmen do not win 10 games.
So Isaac Wilson had 25 passing attempts per game last year. Devin Dampier had 32.
Bad comparison because Isaac Wilson was
and
inept.
They played quickly at New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. So you're talking about more drives, so more opportunities to throw the ball.
They wanted Isaac to play as slow as possible.
Correct. They just didn't want Isaac to have the ball.
Yeah.
So, but that's the question. If Dampier is throwing the ball away, you know, Isaac had 11 interceptions last year. He was 1-1. Well, he has 10 interceptions or 10 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
But you talk about last year like
1-1.
You talk about last year like it was successful.
No, I'm not saying it's successful.
No,
at all.
I know, but you're like, but Isaac had this last year. Well, last year was a complete disaster. You can't have a replay of last year.
Right,
That's not a
that's
thing.
what I'm saying. So that's where they will neuter the offense, if that's the case. If that's where Devin Dampier is heading, they will just turn into a full running offense.
And then lose a bunch of games?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. We don't know. We don't know. What do we know about Utah? They could lose a bunch of games if it doesn't go well. Exactly.
I just don't think they're going to be a well-balanced offense. I don't think it's going to be a very dangerous passing attack. I don't think they have the pass catchers. I don't think Devin Dampier has shown he's a great passer. That doesn't mean the offense can't be effective. I think he's going to be effective with his legs, and Utah has had good teams win double-digit seasons without quarterbacks who can throw the ball particularly well.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars open the season at home at Lavelle Edwards Stadium as they welcome in Portland State. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join Hanson Scotty on Wednesday for the Cougar Preview Show, brought to you by Beehive Meals. Ben and I have a bunch of random conversations in the break oftentimes, and we were randomly talking about names. And actually, that is kind of relevant. We don't have to dwell on this, but this is something that happened over the weekend, and I I have a question. Okay, so Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Penix was walking off of the field. That's another thing, Junior. Don't tell me Junior, Christian.
It was a joke.
Steve-On Smith once corrected me. I was like, hey, we've got the great Steve-On Smith on the air. And he's like, it's actually Steve-On Smith Sr. It's like, come on, dude.
I'm with you on the senior thing. First of all, sorry to reveal your family secrets, but you're a junior, right?
Beyond that. But
yeah, you're not like, actually,
you can
it's
call me by
Mr.
this.
Scott the Fourth or whatever. Yeah, nobody cares. And senior means you've adopted it yourself.
Yeah.
As an adult.
Right. Yeah, it's silly. So Michael Penix, though, is walking off the field, and a fan in Dallas calls him by the obvious name. If you were going to mispronounce his name, that's what they did.
Mike.
No.
Oh, no, his last name.
His last
I see.
name.
Yeah.
Which is like incredibly uncreative and juvenile. We can all agree. Well, Michael got mad. He starts yelling at this fan. And I got to think, here's my example for you. How old was Dick Butkus when he was like, I've heard them all in the book, dude?
Sure.
I've heard them all.
Right.
I'm not going to get worked up about this because, I've been called every funny name. By the time I got to fourth grade,
Right.
I'd heard them
My
all.
name's Dick Butkus.
Like if you're Michael Penix,
Yeah.
I mean, how many times in your life has some mean kid or whatever done just that? I mean, I'm sure that's his entire 8th grade year. You know what I mean? Why would you get bent out of shape
Right.
now?
Sure.
Like that's not the first person that made that joke during that game.
Matt Harpring will not
Okay, very funny.
And had his MRI
Very funny.
of a joint in his spine and a slightly
Any
bulging
excuse.
disc in his
I meant to
back.
say disc.
Did you see this? Like last week, though, a TV station did it by accident. Like it must have auto-corrected
With
or
Michael
something.
Penix.
Yeah, it had his name up there, and it was misspelled.
Auto-corrected.
Whoops.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I don't
Sugar
understand
Ray
his reaction.
Yelled at a fan one time because he did the same thing with Sugar Ray. I'm with you. Yeah. I'm sure at some point you would hope it would stop, right? Like that might, I'm sure it was a
It's
sensitive
never
issue.
going to stop. People
I'm sure
are.
it was a sensitive issue. And he thought, I'm finally in the NFL and now it's going to go away. No, it's going to be worse than ever now. You've got a spotlight on you.
People are mean and people are dumb.
Yeah,
And so he's going to get that for as long as he plays sports.
correct.
And every single person that comes up with it is going to think that they're a genius.
Change that.
You know what I mean?
Change that last letter.
Like,
It's my fantasy team's name.
that's funny. That is funny. You know how many people have been like, Jake the Snake?
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh, hadn't heard that.
You got me.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
You just come up with that on your own?
Yeah.
So at what point are you like, oh, okay, all right, I got it, good one. But anyway, apparently he's still quite sensitive about it.
Speaking of being sensitive, did you see Utah State's depth chart?
No.
Nobody did. Also, Bronco Mendenhall, no depth chart in Utah State's official media release this morning.
He doesn't have to, so they're not going to.
Yeah, it's just it has a depth chart. There's just there's literally nothing on it.
The only person we know is the pig farmer is starting, right?
That's the belief. Yeah, I think
I think he said that, right?
so. Yeah, but
That
otherwise,
the pig
nothing.
farmer is the guy.
So we're going to see this more and more. Which again, it's just, and you know, it is a disservice to the opposing media and people covering the game. It is just a bit of a disservice.
Oh,
So
big
disservice
time.
to your fans. It's just goofy. I am pro Wit. I am pro Bronco. I think this is silly.
Well, Bronco's justification, at least in spring ball, and I think it continues to be, that he doesn't want his roster to get rated. It's like at some point people are going to figure out who's playing for your team.
And
dude.
I'm sure they
And
are
you're-
also feeling that way. At some point, you're gonna watch the game on Saturday, and you're gonna see who rolls out against UTEP, and that's gonna be who's starting, and that's gonna be the depth chart. Again, it's people trying to do their jobs leading up to it.
Yeah.
And it's no game, in my opinion, has ever been won or lost by the depth chart that came out a week before the game started.
That's so funny. I'm looking through it right now. Like they released the media guide, and it gets to a page like
It
you were
says
saying.
offense,
it says
defense, and special teams.
depth chart, and it's just all blank.
It's all blank.
You know what honestly bothers me about it? Okay, let me put it this way. In college football in particular, fans actually don't care about players. They do in the temporary, but they're a Ute or a Cougar fan, and players come and go. It's the nature of the sport. You're a fan of the logo. You're not necessarily a fan of individual players. Thus, in college football, you can trade out 80% of the team, and the fans don't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. If in the pros, if you traded out 80% of the team, fans would go somewhere. You know, they're rooting, especially in basketball, they're way more rooting for players and stars and that sort of thing. But in college football, fans really don't care that much about the players. And I'm sure the players really like attention.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a backup tackle that when he's listed on the 2 deep at that backup spot is sending an email to his mom being like, dude, look who hit the 2 deep or whatever. Look who made the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Look, those bozos, Jake and Ben, were talking about me, saying, wow, way to go. You made the 2 deep. None of that. I mean, it just takes attention off the players. In all honesty, it does. It just takes attention. And that's what Bronco admittedly wants, because when players get attention, then other teams find out about the player. But isn't Bronco, who is a pro player coach, isn't he actually doing that player a disservice? Yeah. And if you're not getting media attention, how much money are you getting for car endorsements or for throwing stuff out on the Snap Talk, and or all the ways that they're supposed to actually make NIL money by taking the attention away from the player? You're actually devaluing them and not doing the player a favor. So I feel bad. Our mutual friend, Carl Ganther, loved it every time his name was mentioned in the media.
Yeah.
Every time he got written about or whatever. It was a huge deal to him when he was playing. Hans, talk to Hans about it.
Of course, I'm totally with you. And I when I think of why Utah doesn't have a depth chart right now, and what you're saying about Bronco at Utah State, I think is exactly right. Bronco doesn't want his roster to get rated. Witt raves about Zach Williams after spring ball, and he immediately enters the transfer portal. Right, is going somewhere else because somebody said, "Oh, good receiver at Utah. I bet we can sell him that he'll get catches somewhere else, that he'll have an opportunity to play and be more of a guy somewhere else," and he transfers and gets more money. So in that sense, I'm sure they don't feel like they ever want to do these guys any favors and put their name out there unless they've signed them to a multi-year contract that gives them some semblance of security, and even that's a false word. It's like you just leave your contract. Yeah, you don't get that money for the second year, but you already gotten paid the first year, and you go somewhere else that's going to give you money. But I think along those lines, that would be the reason they would tell you. But yeah, I think it's protecting the coach, not the player.
Not the player.
Yeah.
Not what's in the best interest for the player.
And if we're talking about, again, the myth of student athletes, what is this all about? It's not student athletes.
Well, and now Aggie fans are going to show up at the game, and they're still going to show up, and instead of going, wow, that Ben Anderson is pretty good, they're going to go, wow, that number 19 really plays well.
19 really plays hard.
Yeah. I had no idea who he is, but boy, he looked like he was lighting it up out there.
Yeah. So.
I mean, people like going online and searching depth charts, and like, what's that one website that only exists for depth charts? What is it? Yeah. Our Lads or whatever it is?
Phil Steele's entire model and living is based off of depth charts. His entire lifeline is going out and putting out depth charts. And yeah, you can look at what his ratings are and what he thinks is going to be good here and there in his previews for the season. 99% of it is a depth chart and the team schedule.
How much money do you think Phil Steele has made for college football in his career?
Millions.
Yeah, hundreds of millions, maybe.
Maybe.
The amount of attention that he brings to every program, and now the magazine format is certainly outdated, and he has evolved to do it electronically and all this stuff. But you can still find one of those in the airport during the summer.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble, it's a huge thing still.
Yeah, so that just brings attention to everybody, and you find out about the teams. And actually, it's more necessary now than ever. I have no idea who's on what team.
Right. Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
But, why would you want to promote
your product?
Your product or your team? Because you're worried about that attention working against you. But I think that feels like trying to put water back into a fire hose.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this behavior will prevent anybody at Utah State from transferring?
Of course not.
My guess is probably not.
In fact, I would think it might do the opposite.
Maybe a transfer over the summer. Maybe you saved. But you're artificially limiting the market for your players. Like there's a double-edged sword to that.
I don't think it's going to force anyone by themselves to leave when I say it might do the opposite. But if you're looking at other things, and you're like, man, my brother plays for this other school and his name's on a depth chart. Mine's not. You know what I mean? But it's just like it's the straw that breaks the camel's back of just like, this is weird.
But Bronco was the guy who publicly said, until Ziggy Ansah, he publicly said at BYU he does not care about developing his players for the NFL. He said that. Mm-hmm. And now his justification for that was, we're raising better humans and we want them to succeed in life and all these other things, which are wonderful, right? But to not develop them for the NFL, that's like a policy that actually works against you, because recruits hear you say that and they want to go to the NFL, whether it's a realistic thing or not. In this case, I think he's justifying keeping an ultimate lid on his program to keep his players from being rated, but I think that works against him because players want attention and players want NIL money and players want there to be a market for them. And maybe they decide to stay in Logan, but they want there to be love. Everybody does. You want to be successful in the system. By artificially devaluing your players, I think you're doing a disservice to those players. And people aren't dumb. They're going to realize it. So I would guess this is a policy that at some point he's going to have to
adjust,
be a little bit more flexible. But Witt has gone entirely, he hasn't really given on any of this. He's only taken throughout his career, only limited access and taken away stuff. And he hasn't really gone the other direction, and it's worked fine for him. So, what do I know? But I think eventually you pay for giving away free advertising.
Your name has quite literally never been more valuable in print in college sports than it is today.
Yeah.
And it'll be even more tomorrow. And it's only growing because of name, image, likeness. Not having your name out there is a bad financial decision for you. If that's what you care about, that's the truth.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
all right, we'll wrap up the show. Coming up next, it's the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
It's a trip to the Rose Bowl for the Utes as they open the season this Saturday at UCLA. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airways, talking sports. They got it made, Jake's and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarf. Oh my.
I think the biggest difference between Bear Bachmeier and Isaac Wilson is the fact that Bear Bachmeier is taking first-team reps before the season even begins. Isaac was on the second team, had to get shoved in the middle of the season. I think there's a big difference there. Bear has an opportunity to train a little bit more, get more prepared, be more comfortable with the system. Just one man's opinion.
Absolutely, Brian, right there on the call-in feature, KSL Sports app. I think a true frosh is a true frosh, and not to expect much. So I don't know if I 100% agree with Brian, but a true frosh, having as much time to prepare as possible, yeah, that's probably a better thing than just being thrown in.
I agree with both of you, where I would disagree with Brian and I guess agree with you, or disagree with you. I just don't think you know until they're on the field. If Isaac Wilson had gotten all the reps last year before the season, was Isaac Wilson going to be a significantly better player?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not. It could have made a difference, but not.
How many first-string reps was, and again, we're talking true freshmen, it's different, but how many first-string reps was Cam Rising getting before the year he took over as starter in game 2 or 3, whatever it was?
Not many.
He was the backup.
Yeah.
So not many. He was better.
Maybe some in camp, but for the most part, no.
Yeah. So you just kind of get it on the field and you got to see. So I don't know what to expect from Bear Bachmeier other than I just think there's only so much you can know as a freshman, as a true freshman. Even if you get all the reps, you don't have 12 or 13 games worth of reps. You don't have a season worth of reps. I mean, I've been listening to some stuff on Deshaun Foster at UCLA and the quarterback, as a head coach. He took the job in March last year. It was weird timing. Chip left or whatever happened, and he got the job at a weird spot. And he got promoted right from running backs coach. He was never even the OC. And now they're talking about UCLA and Deshaun Foster like this is his first year. Now he knows. This is a guy who's been in college football his whole life, right? How long ago was he playing at UCLA? Long time ago. Like he's been doing this forever. And he now, as a coach, is in his second year and he feels like, okay, now I've kind of got it figured out. Jay Hill has been a head coach, talked about going to his second season at BYU, finally figuring out like, okay, I know what to expect. Like Bear doesn't know what he doesn't know, even if he gets 1 million first team reps. Until you're on the field and play 12 games and know what it's like to go on the road in week 6, I just don't think it matters what you do all that much. The reps help, but there's certain things you just can't replicate.
He's the guy that snap talked out all of his relevant medical information and revealing a more serious injury when he was trying to say, do you remember this? He sent
Sean
out
Foster?
He sent out, and I should Google this to make sure I'm not slandering somebody, but he sent out a picture of an MRI trying to say something, and it revealed that he had like a broken foot.
Okay.
But then he left all of his information on the MRI. Like it said all of his medical information on the MRI or whatever. So I don't know. Take that for what you will, but that's what stands out to me about Deshaun Foster. And actually, that wasn't that long ago. Was that Arian Foster?
Different guy.
Dang. Slandered Deshaun
Former
Foster.
Texans running back.
Yeah, Arian Foster. You remember that, Christian?
No, I didn't. I was Googling the story, and
he was an interesting
ESPN article about Arian Foster post
It was
MRI
Arian
photo.
Foster. Oh, corrections and retractions. Apologies.
He was an interesting dude. Wasn't he vegan?
He is very weird. He still
is a weird
He's
dude,
pretty
yeah.
active with Barstool Sports right now, and he's odd.
Yeah, he's a weird dude.
Ben, we talked about how poorly run, bad owners can win sometimes, but usually bad owners are destined to repeat the same bad behavior over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? The Cincinnati Bengals, I'll give you an example. They're owned by a dude named Mike Brown. Did you hear Boomer Esiason's probably the most famous Bengal in history?
Okay. Chris Collinsworth. Tony Munoz. But yeah, okay.
But probably
Joe Burrow now.
Probably
Lamar.
Boomer.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so the Bengals were going to have, they're doing a Ring of Honor ceremony or whatever. And so they're inviting their legend players to come into town. And Boomer got invited.
Okay.
And he got an email. Okay, he read the email on the radio, so let me just read you the email. The Bengals organization is excited to celebrate our legends community and kindly invite you and a guest to join us in celebrating Dave Lapham and Lamar Parrish on Ring of Honor weekend in October, culminating at our game on Sunday, October 26th, when the Bengals take on the New York Jets. More details are below, and we kindly ask you to RSVP no later than Friday, August 22nd. You and a guest can receive 2 complimentary tickets with an opportunity to purchase an additional one if you wish. If you are traveling in for the weekend from out of town, we have secured a block of rooms at the Renaissance Hotel at a preferred discount rate. Rooms are limited, so please book directly for the early and best rate. We look forward to hosting you in the jungle for an unforgettable weekend. Don't hesitate to reach out with me or another guy on the staff with any questions. Thank you, and Who Day.
Well, if you want a +1, you're going to have to pay for it.
You're the Bengals, and it's Boomer Esiason.
There's limited
you
seating.
can fly Boomer in.
There's limited seating.
You
There's a
don't-
group rate. There's a code.
That a Renaissance.
Send us an email, and we'll send you the code for the group rate.
Boomer Esiason's going to be like, I've got an additional 1 ticket I could purchase. Boomer Esiason. What did he do for that franchise?
Not enough. You gotta do more.
What did all the Bengals legends do for that franchise? They're like, we're going to send you an email. And if you could get here, we'd love to see you at the game. We'll give you a couple of tickets, but you got to pay for the third. And the good news is we got you a discount rate at the Renaissance Inn. Are you kidding?
Well, bad teams are bad teams. I wish I could say it was anything different, but what have you come to expect from idiots or idiots? They're just going to continue to show that they're idiots, and this is the Browns.
It's great. Like, running the day-to-day operations of an NFL franchise is expensive. I mean, in comparison to other expenses that the NFL or that an NFL team has, a couple of plane tickets for your legends has got to be a drop in the bucket.
You have not accumulated enough miles some way to get something taken care of.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
what
have
I'm
a
saying.
sponsorship with Delta or Spirit.
What other corners are they cutting?
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
And that's bad. I mean, that's bad ownership.
Again, Ryan Smith buying the Utah Mammoth and
Where's the sound effect?
Having to take on old bills from the hotels that the last owner wouldn't pay for his players during the season.
Having enough tape in the locker rooms.
Having enough tape in the locker rooms. Like, yeah, what is that? $2?
See, that stuff really matters.
It absolutely matters. It's why people think the Lakers are going to take a big jump forward now, moving on from the buses, who were weirdly cheap with stuff because they didn't have that much money.
Well, the kids were terrible.
Yeah.
The old man knew what he was doing. The kids they were all terrible.
BYU did release a depth chart quickly. I know we've got Hans and Scotty coming up next. A couple of things, I guess, to keep an eye on. Didn't name an official starter at either guard position. Waylon Lapuaho or Sonny Makasini at left guard listed as Ors or Austin Leosa, or a Kyle, Suffolchak, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Both listed as Ors. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But otherwise, not a lot of battles undecided yet.
All right, Hans and Scotty are coming up next. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Jake and Ben
Thanks,
Show,
Christian.
97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.